Welcome back. So now we want to take a look at pop-ups. If you remember earlier in our app, we had a delete button, but the fear of the delete button was that if you clicked it, your record was just up and gone. So now we're going to go in and we're going to add a pop-up, so when you click delete, it's actually going to launch the pop-up and say, do you really want to delete that record? So we're here in our app we built earlier, and we know that on the details screen, that's where we added the delete button. And so right now we're going to run the code remove and that. So we'll put that on our keyboard because we're going to need that a little later, but we're not ready to remove. And instead what we're going to do is we're going to have, when you press this button, all it's going to do is set a variable, which is going to cause our pop-up to launch. So we're going to say update context, and we're going to then make a variable named pop-up, and we're going to set its value to true. So this is one of those tricks to kind of put in your back pocket. In this case, I want to be able to action, right? I'm going to have an if formula where I'm going to evaluate to true or false. So why not just set the variable to be that Boolean style variable of true or false? So then that way, I don't have to do any evaluation. I can just put the variable's name in there and take advantage of it. Okay, so we're going to say update context is true. So there you go. Delete no longer hurts us. So now we need to kind of build the pop-up. And so to get started there, what you're going to do is you're going to use our favorite friend, the rectangle. So scroll way down here on the list. Right? I'm going to start a petition to say I want this rectangle moved to the top because I use this icon a lot. And we're going to take it and we're going to make it cover the whole screen. Oop, there we go. Now, a blue pop-up probably doesn't look very good, so we're going to take and change the fill color for that from that formula, which apparently turns out to be blue. Oh, now it's black. Now we're going to go 169, 169, 169, and then we're going to set the alpha value so that the amount of transparency of the number, or the color, to 0.75. And so something like that. So that gives us that kind of gray, that modal feel, right? There's a pop-up, and so everything's still there. It's just covered up in the background by a gray screen. Very cool. So then I'm going to insert a label. I'm going to kind of drag it over here in the middle. There you go. What Power Apps kind of help me find the middle of the screen? There's the middle. There's the middle. Something like that. All right. And so with this, what we're going to do is we're going to set it up so that we're actually going to use the fill of the label. So we haven't done this before, right? But we're going to make it a big red, kind of that stop feel. So we made the background of the label red. So instead of putting another icon on here, we just did that. We're going to take the text. I'm going to make it white. And we'll make the font something big, like 40. There you go. Make this guy a little bigger. And then we'll also probably go ahead and center. And so then now we'll just change this text to say, do you really want to delete this record? Boom, looks like I did not make it big enough. All right. So there you go. So now we've kind of got this pop-up message. And then as part of that also, we're going to insert a button. And so then we'll have a button right here, and we'll make this button be, yes, delete. Oh, I hit the button too fast. We'll try this again. We'll add another button. We'll drag it down here, and we'll just say delete. Go over here. Yes, delete. All right. And then we'll have another button for canceling. So we'll go over here, we'll put this right here, and we'll make the text for this button be cancel. All right. And so then you could color your buttons. You could also use icons. So maybe you want to use the check mark icon or the X icon, you know, those type of things. You can make this look as pleasant as you'd like, but I am not going to spend a whole bunch of time making this look very pleasant. So we'll just kind of make the colors match and we'll call it a day. So we'll say red and red for this one. Okay. So now we've kind of got all the pieces in place. So what we're going to do here, what happens if you click this button? Well, when you click this button, we are going to want to actually delete the record. So we'll go over here and we will paste in our code, remove purchases, gallery 1 selected. And we will also, when you click this button, we need to update our context variable. So we're going to update context pop-up. And we're going to set the pop-up back to false, just like that. And finally, right, our first 3-step process, we're going to navigate, and then we're going to navigate back to the welcome screen. Oh, we need to do a transition for that though. And then I'll just grab this and pull it down for a second so you can see everything we got there, right? So remove our item, delete it from the Excel file, update our pop-up so our pop-up goes away, and then navigate to the welcome screen. That looks like good logic to me. I like it. Okay, so the cancel button, if they click that, what do we want to do? We just want to make the pop-up go away. So we're going to say update context. Oh, but it's not the fill. I'm in the wrong field. Tis. Go to on select here. We're going to say update context for pop-up and set it to false also. So that would just make the pop-up go away, but would leave us on the screen that we're on. All right. So then the last thing I probably should show you is actually how to make this pop-up appear or disappear, right? We've kind of put all the pieces into place. So to do that, what you're going to do is you need to hold down your control key, and we're going to select all these items we just made. So we're going to select the rectangle, the label, button 4, and button 5, which you probably should name. We'll do that in a second. So now that we've done those, up here in the browser, we've got this option for group. And so we're going to say group and then group. And so what that does is that puts those 4 items in a logical grouping so we can manipulate some of the properties of them in Tangent. So, for example, what I'll do here is use this for the pop-up, controlling whether they're visible or not, so I can set it once and all of them take that. But then you also might use this like if you're going to have like navigation menus that slide in and out, or other type of visual effects. We want to have all of them interact as a single group, kind of change together. Then you're going to use a group to do that. So we'll take our group, we'll rename this the pop-up group, like so. And so then now we had our group renamed. Up here at the top, we have a visible option. And so the visible is true. Well, we don't want the visible to be true, right? We only want the visible to be visible if they've clicked our button. So we could write an if formula to do that. But visible takes Boolean values, true and false. We made our variable true or false. So all we have to do is use our pop-up variable to control the behavior. So there you go. It just like that, it disappeared because our variable is false, right? Contextual variables, when you create them, the Booleans are just automatically false. So we say play. If I click delete down, hey, whoa, do you really want to delete this record? No, I don't. So we cancel out of there. We're right back in. Delete again. If we hit yes delete, we won't delete our record yet, but if I did hit yes delete, it would remove it. It would reset the variable, so the next time you came in here, this pop-up wouldn't be in the way, and then it would take you back to the welcome screen. So that's a pop-up menu. A couple of things I want to talk about, though. So one of them is well, right now you're like, well, how do I work on that? I need to change this one thing, but I don't know where it is. I can't see it. 2 options. One, come in here, make the pop-up appear, right, and then go back in. And so then now I could edit those items the visual way I want. But what I'd tell you to do is if you had done a good job of coming in here and saying, all right, well, this is actually the delete button, right? So if we do our little click here and say rename, and we say button delete, so then now I would know that was the delete button. And so if we rename this one, we know this is a cancel button. Right, this is another reason we always push on you to label all these things, right? We could continue labeling, but you don't want to watch me type. But so then now, even when you're in here and you hit cancel, right? And then your boss, she once again says, hey, I really like what you did there, but I really wish that the cancel button was green so people would click that by default. Well, no problem. I don't even have to mess with it. I just come in here, click this. I have enough of an understanding of how this works. I can be like, all right, well, for that particular one, let's click on the cancel button. There we go. Cancel button selected. Well, its fill is red right now. We will change the fill to green. And so then now the next time you go into the app and you say delete, now cancel is green. So that's another one of the advantages of labeling your things. But hopefully this helps you guys, right? Pop-ups are one of those things that you need all the time. These confirmation screens, these updates. And don't limit yourself to think, oh, I can only do a simple yes, no here. You could be popping up a form for someone to fill out. Some of the more advanced solutions I've seen, they've done everything on one screen, and they just kind of show different layers of the screen based on where they're at in the process. And they just use this same concept of a variable to determine what's shown or not. The last little piece of knowledge to put in your head with all this is that order matters. So right now you can see, if we look at the screen, the pop-up is on top and the form and all those pieces are on the bottom. If we had done this the other way around, where the form was above the pop-up in this list, so it was closer to the top here, then the pop-up would be showing up in the background and it wouldn't help us at all because it wouldn't be able to show. It would be layered, right? This is the order in which stuff on the screen is layered. If you ever need to change how things are layered, what you can do, so maybe you're like, oh, you know what, this button here, he always needs to be on top. So I can click on the button and I can use reorder here, and I can say, bring that button to the front. And so see, you can now see an example of the rectangle, even though the pop-up is being shown, because this button is layered higher in the list, it is still shown without the rectangle over it because it's on top. So just another one of those little tricky concepts to throw in there. Generally, if you build out your page, this type of stuff doesn't matter too much, but sometimes you need to understand that reordering objects will make your life better. Cool? All right, well, hopefully that helps you, and I'll see you in a minute to talk about conditional formatting.